Hello there, everyone. Here I am, Jay with the Tower Nook, and I am pulling your cards for the last week of March. This month has gone by very fast in the best of ways. I'm telling you, this March has been an amazing month, my friends. All right, the energy is just on the up, on the up. It started in February. February was magical. That's when ultimately we took out the matchbox and we went ahead and went against, I forget what they call it, what like the sandpaper or whatever, and sparked the match and we lit the match, right? March is when we took that lit match and lit the candle. And now that we're going into April, we're going to start smelling that warm vanilla scent, of the candle. And you're just going to, it's like your space is just going to feel so much more comfortable. That like I feel as if subconsciously you're healing in real time from a lot of the things that we've needed to heal from for a very long time. Subconsciously, it's like we're turning pages, we're turning chapters. My friends, this is a brand new version of us. Like I feel as if for the first time in a very long time, all of us can take a deep breath in and we blow out, we just feel that release. We just feel that calm. And it's because of the work you've done. It's because of like the inner work, the shadow work that you've done. In some instances, still doing, but that's the only way we move forward by continuously working on ourselves. And when we work on ourselves and when we get ourselves to a place of more like peace, I feel it's the kind of situation that's when the ball starts to roll. When we're matching the energy of exactly what we're looking to call in, that's when the energy starts to roll. That's why March we've been seeing such a big difference because finally we are matching the energy of exactly what is meant for us. Spirit is saying, all right, they're ready for it. And I feel as if for everybody it's so different in so many ways, right? What's working in my life right now, is working for me. What's working in your life is specifically tailored for you. Like that's the beautiful thing. We're all on our own journeys, and spirit is seeing where we are on our own journeys. We're ready for what has always been destined to be ours. All right. So know that right now it's the 29th, 30 days past September, April, June, and November. So March 31st. So what is that going to be to April 5th? Um, I believe 29, 30, 31st or April 4th. I don't know. All I know is this is going into April, okay? So expect a full reading for from me. You know what? I was saying this was a weekly reading. Let's go ahead. I'm sorry, let's mix it up. Let's do a monthly reading. But overall, this monthly reading is ultimately going to be including the ending of March going into April, okay? So this is energy that's going to be this week going into all of April. All right? All of a sudden spirits like Jason. Let's make things easier. All right. So once again, this is going to be your weekly reading. All right. The 29th through April 4th, I believe. And it's also going to be covering all of April as well. Okay. So let's see what we got here. Yesterday I was seeing nothing but visuals of a knight and a dragon. Knights of the Table. I mean, they suit themselves with their armor, and they get ready to battle. It's like all of a sudden, like we're suited up. We're like exactly who we're meant to be, and we're ultimately proud of exactly who we are. We're proud of exactly where we've come, and we're ready to take on whatever the universe has in store for us. We are the Knights of the Round Table. I kept on seeing King Arthur, King Arthur, King Arthur, like I mean overall, we are the Lancelot, and then there's the dragon, right? That I keep on seeing. And the dragon is all about power and strength and drive and passion, so I feel as if right now the energy that we're going into April with is we are suited up and ready to take on the world and we're excited about it. And we know that beautiful things are ultimately going to keep on coming forward. And the things that ultimately have been bubbling underneath the surface, my friends, officially, listen, we just stepped into spring, right? April's our first full month of spring, you know? So it's a kind of situation overall. Let's go ahead. Just give me one moment. Sorry, I have to separate my cats while I'm feeding them, and I accidentally left one in the bath. He was only in there for 15 minutes. And here he is. Hello, Angel. So let's go ahead and let's see what energy is ultimately, giving us. There's the lovers, okay? The lovers is the first card to come out. The card at the bottom of the deck is the Page of Cups. So this is the beginning to a beautiful romantic connection that's going to turn into that be all to end all relationship. This could overall be maybe opening your heart up to new kind of creative pursuits, discovering new kinds of emotions and choosing the love that ultimately is right for you because the lovers is all about choices. Immediately what I'm feeling is if you're single, you know, that be all to end all relationship is coming forward. If you are opening yourself up to new artistic ventures, all right. The Page of Cups is new beginnings. It's the miracle card, the one takes fly card. So really, whatever you've been looking to ultimately learn, now is your opportunity to soak it in and allow yourself to be in that energy. I feel as if with the Emperor, along with the Page of Swords, we're thinking differently. And because we're thinking differently, listen, we got two pages, the Page of Cups and the Page of Swords. Pages are students. Page of Swords are learning how to work with a new thought process, learning how to work with a new kind of intellect. And this new kind of intellect that we're looking to learn, that we're looking to ultimately put into action. I feel that I'm telling you, like this is a different version of us. It's like we're learning new ways to live our lives in love and light, and we're actually following through with it this week and into April with the Emperor. The Emperor has put his life in checkmate. All right, the Emperor is the king of all kings. He has all the structure and all the order in the world to ultimately, grab a hold of exactly, what is rightfully his, and that is his ambition and bravery to ultimately continuously conquer, the things that ultimately are coming forward in his world because he is the master of his destiny. The Emperor is ultimate masculine energy. It wouldn't surprise me if the Empress comes up. So let's keep on going, okay? We got the Three of Cups, we got the Five of Swords, and we got the Ten of Wands. Very powerful. Very, very, very powerful. Why? Because I feel as if this Three of Cups is ultimately all about the positive energy that we have around us, our family, our friends, whatever kind of connections are ultimately in your life. I feel as if the Three of Cups is such a happy, happy, happy connection. And I feel as if this happy connection that has just is making us feel so happy and joyful has gotten us out of our heads to ultimately reach the ending of a cycle of feeling as if, the world is against you. You're holding the whole world on your shoulders. I feel as if through the connections we've had in our lives and the happiness we've been able to ultimately acquire from those healthy connections, we've been able to think differently. It's like, there was a change in the way that we used to think. Like I keep on thinking and seeing a cup half empty and a cup half full. It's like all a question of how we looked at it. We went through a mind altering change in regards to the cup being half empty and looking at it as the cup being half full. You know, and I feel it's in that change that ultimately we decided that enough was enough. We had enough. We've had enough of being in a kind of energy where we just felt heavy all the time. The Three of Cups is those happy connections in our lives and telling you love conquers all. And I feel as if this is an example of, looking at your friends and looking at your family and just being grateful for exactly the energy they were able to give you for you to go to reach over that hill. It's like the completion of a cycle, my friends. This completion is ultimately, a completion of, feeling as if you're taking down these blocks and understanding that while taking down these blocks and while, like, exhausted, doing the work, so listen, the Nine of Wands is a beautiful card because it's all about taking down the fence we built around ourselves, right? But it's the kind of situation I feel as if like the completion of a cycle has ultimately happened. We got the Nine of Wands and the Ten of Wands. That is the completion of a cycle of doing that shadow work, of seeing the things that needed to be ultimately negated, to ultimately bring on the things that are meant to be, that are meant to exist in our lives. I feel as if, this completion of a cycle ultimately it's like we've taken down this giant fence, and along the other side of the fence there was this little seed. And that seed was a seed that's big enough and strong enough to have us grow into that ultimate prosperity. Like I feel as if spirit is ultimately saying right now, my friends, that hard work, that getting out of our heads, that feeling lost, that feeling like as if like, we have the world on our shoulders, that's done. It's completed. That chapter has come to an end because we know that right now we know that everything has happened for a greater reason. What that reason was, we had no idea, but I feel as if in April we're going to start to see. We're going to start to open our eyes and see that the reason why we are where we are right now and the reason why we are looking at life with a new set of eyes is because of the love that we had around us. The love that we have for ourselves, the love that we have for our pets, the love that we have from our neighbors, the mailman, the mail woman, your lover, your mom, your dad, your brother, your sister, your cousins, like your steps, like your stepbrother, whatever the case may be, my friends, know that love has always been able to guide us out of the darkness. All right. And we got the emperor. And what did I say? There's the empress. All right. It's like we're giving birth to a new kind of abundance, a new kind of emotional fulfillment, where ultimately we are no longer confused. We're no longer like, which one is right for me? What should I do? And we're ultimately telling you the confusion is no more. All right, the confusion in regards to I don't know what I should do. Should I do this? Should I do that? I feel with the Ten of Cups, we're giving birth to just clarity, emotional fulfillment. That's fairy tale ending energy. All right. And they lived happily ever after. We are no longer in our heads confused about what we want, confused in regards to why is the universe handing us this when the entire time the universe was handing us whatever was handing us for us to grow, for us to find that love deep within ourselves even more, to accept what's being handed to us right now. Like overall, it's the kind of energy we're thinking differently. I feel as if April, I'm seeing we're going to make these decisions that are going to be just like all of a sudden, bam, it's like the energy that you need to be in. And you're going to ultimately take action on that energy. Okay. The Ace of Wands is new ideas, new activity, new love, new kinds of passion. I feel as if overall, like April, it's like I'm seeing, I'm seeing, eyes were like peaked a little open or whatever. All of a sudden, our eyes are going to be wide open, and we're going to see exactly what we need to do, and we're going to ultimately go ahead, follow through, and do just that. All right, the Knight of Wands takes action based upon what she knows is going to bring that activity that will get her from point A to point B to point Z, you know? With the Two of Pentacles, like I feel like this energy is bringing us balance. This energy is bringing us that duality, seeing that, there were many, many meanings and misunderstandings in regards to exactly what happened in our lives. Like I'm telling you, my friends, like it's the kind of situation I'm feeling April is going to be, and this week, it's all starting this week, okay? But I keep on seeing April. Starting this week into all throughout April, we're going to be grateful for the journey that we've been on because we are going to be so thankful and we are going to see as clear as day how amazing our journey has been. We still have a lot of time left on this crazy windy road that we call life. But it's moments like this, my friends, that happen only once in a lifetime. All right. Only once in a lifetime. All right. I feel as if with the Eight of Pentacles, along with the Page of Wands, we're learning how to work with this new kind of energy, and we've mastered our self-worth to the point where we're good. We're good. We're set. And we are ready to move on to just, amazing pastures. A big part immediately if you're single. All right, immediately. I feel with the lovers being the first card that flipped out with the Page of Cups, there is a connection that is going to be growing into that deep, passionate kind of love. Like I feel as if like whatever the case may be, April, the rest of this week in April is going to be all about choosing the kind of love that is right for us and living our truth and happiness, being grateful to ultimately have found out exactly who you were through this tremulous journey that we've been on. My friends, we've come to the ending of a cycle where taking down that fence and feeling as if you had the whole world on your shoulders, like April is going to be a month where we're going to see that that's no longer our lives. That is no longer on our lives. And I just separated the deck. There's the Ace of Pentacles with the Lovers once more. So, my friends, insane prosperity is coming forward with nothing but love and activity. So let me go ahead. I'm going to pull cards from my Avalon deck. And then after the Avalon deck, I'm going to go ahead and pull cards from my High Priestess deck. All right. Or not High Priestess deck. My God. I'm saying High Priestess for a reason. I mean, this is some massive, it's like, we've found the meaning what laid behind our own moons. And by the way, April 1st is going to be a full moon. All right, it's going to be the pink moon. So hopefully the skies are clear. Fingers crossed. But if you look up at the moon, April 1st, that's how we're beginning April off with a full moon, a completion of a cycle. All right. And pink, pink. What do we think of pink? Pink. When we think pink, we think love, right? We think love. We think, a sigh of relief and just happiness. Like that's what pink makes me feel. So overall, we got the owl. Wisdom, risk, and burden. It's like I'm telling you, we've grown wiser. We've grown wiser. And we understand that in order to step out of this burden that we call the Ten of Wands, we needed a risk. We needed to take a risk on ourselves. We needed to take a risk on ourselves, knowing that we are wiser now more than ever. Taking those risks are the only way that we'll be able to move forward, right? Know that spirit is by your side during this time, all right? This is a birth and rebirth kind of moment, connection to the angelic realm. Your angels are by your side guiding you, all right? With the Lady of the Lake, absolute truth, courage, self respect, responsibility. That's why, my friends, that's why we're taking this risk. We are wiser because we have that self respect. We have the responsibility to ourselves to live our lives in our absolute truth, to live our lives in courage, to live our lives with, spirit or whatever you call, your God. I call my God spirit. Others may call Adonai, Jesus, Allah, the sun, the moon, whatever the case may be. Like we are connected with the universe. We are connected with the universe. And I feel as if we're definitely going to be seeing that more clearly. I mean, listen, I don't know about y'all, but I've been seeing nothing but numbers. I saw 1, 2, 3, 4 twice yesterday. 12:34 p.m. and 12:34 a.m. I mean 444, 1111, 101, 111, 110. Like it's the kind of situation. There are truth in numbers, my friends. There are truth in numbers. All right. Know and own that those signs. And by the way, my phone is at 92% and it's also 12:08. 1 plus 2 is 3 plus 8 is 11. 9 plus 2 is 11. There we go. Right? There's a sign right there. These are new beginnings for ourselves. We're taking these chances on ourselves because we have the self respect knowing that we have the responsibility to ourselves to only live in our absolute truth, to be true to ourselves. This is a birth and a rebirth kind of situation, and we're focusing on exactly what we need to do to get ourselves on that level of abundance. And that's exactly why we're bringing in this abundance. That's exactly why we're bringing on this Page of Cups and this Lovers, the Ten of Cups, the Six of Pentacles, right? I mean, overall, the Emperor, the Empress, like all of the cards that came up in the tarot spread, my friends, that all has to do with asking and receiving. It's like overall, we're focusing on the things that we once upon a time felt restricted about. And we've asked Spirit, please set us free from this restriction. And Spirit is also ultimately saying, okay, here we go. That's why, and I put restriction under risk. All right, I just laid that out like that. When it comes down to it, we had to risk something to let go of that feeling of restriction. We had to communicate with ourselves. Communication has been coming up the past several months, right? The past several weeks. To the ability to be open with yourself and have the self-respect and courage to speak clearly to yourself, my friends, that's our superpower. It's like all of a sudden the things that we felt were mysteries are no longer mysterious anymore, my friends. Why? Because we've healed. Because we know more about ourselves now. It's like all of a sudden, like maybe like once upon a time when you were a kid, you wanted to be a fashion designer, right? I'm seeing this, right? And you've been working behind a desk. You've been going to work, working a 9 to 5, thinking it's all right. But then all of a sudden, realizing that why am I not happy? Because ultimately, we haven't been living that life of true fulfillment. And this is when we are deciding to communicate with ourselves clearly and to follow through with what will really make us happy. Maybe picking up a needle and thread might solve that mystery. Know that magic is in the air. Synchronistic events. I don't know about y'all, but magic has been in my life this past month. Like this past month has felt so magical. There have been so many things, synchronicities that have ultimately been showing up in my life. I don't know about you all. Overall, this is the kind of energy we're in right now. Magic is all around us. And I feel this magic has ultimately healed us to claim our independence in ways that we never thought we could. It like I'm telling you, like this energy has allowed us to build healthy boundaries and be the leader and not the follower. You know, like this is all about self-respect. This is a transformation, my friends. Like I said, trusting the psychic gifts. Spirit is by our side this month. All right. Know that the bard, the enchantment of storytelling, this has been the meaning behind this long tremulous journey that we've been on for the past several years to get to this mind frame, to get to a complete different kind of self-love than we ever thought we'd ever be able to match. Like it's like we used to look ourselves in the mirror saying, oh, why do I have that on my nose? Why do I have this freckle right over here? Why do I have this? Why do I have that? Why do I have this? Why do I have that? I'm seeing we're gonna look ourselves in the mirror being like, wow, that freckle tells a story. That little bump in my nose reminds me of the time I have a bump in my nose. I always looked at myself in the mirror like, oh my God, but that reminds me of the time when I was a kid jumping off from one side of the pool and my cousin on the other, and we slammed into each other and I broke my nose without knowing it. Like It tells a story. We're grateful for we're grateful for what we have. And if there's something we're not grateful about, we're going through a transformation where we are going to be able to do something about it instead of just looking at ourselves in the mirror and just accepting, listen, people think that there's shame. Listen, I really think, like if you're born with like maybe like, like something that you just look at yourself and you can't deal with anymore or whatever, there's power in going to a doctor and saying, I need to get plastic surgery or I need to get this done. That's power. That's power to take charge and hold of your being, of your vessel. It's healthy. The only way to be healthy is by being healthy mind, body, and spirit. So this is a transformation in regards to the outlooks that we have on our lives. This is a transformation in regards to how we look at ourselves. And this is a transformation in regards to the world around us, because now that we're feeling this way, you best believe that everything around us is going to change. Because when you're in a different kind of mentality and when you're in a different kind of energy, my friends, you are the energy you surround yourself with, right? You are the energy that you surround yourself with. And now that we're surrounding ourselves with the kind of energy that is ultimately, like there, we're learning to ultimately, really work with it. So I'm telling you, my friends, this is some deep, powerful, powerful energy, and it's in this energy, my friends, that we have found our happily ever after. All right. With that being said, I don't even think I need to pull cards from my Priestess of the Light deck, but I could go ahead and split. See, Earth Magic, fearlessness, removing obstacles, and Divine Feminine, receptive power. All right. You know what? Let's just pull. And there's divine masculine. We found balance within our divine masculine and our divine feminine. All right. Deep emotions, unknown feelings, past life influences, right? We're ultimately taking the risk and discovering what lies behind that mystery. All right. Healthy boundaries, right? This is all about setting those boundaries, honoring the power of what our self love is about. There's the death and rebirth card, along with nurturing compassion with the Divine Mother and Twin Flames. I feel as if we're bringing on we are in that new version of ourselves, and we are feeling ourselves. This is a death and rebirth kind of moment where our heart is healing, truly healing. All right, we're ultimately, the divine mother is ultimately showing us that nurturing compassion and grace. And with twin flames, with soul partner eternal connection, this now that we're in this power of owning our power, finding that balance, setting those healthy boundaries, allowing ourselves to give up the darkness to bring in the light, with nothing but compassion and grace and self-love, we're bringing in the right kind of soul partner. All right. So it's a kind of situation no one understands. We're bringing in balance, brilliant belief, lights, grateful optimism. Like this is the time of our lives. This week into April is going to be it's going to be I'm not going to say the beginning because the beginning has already happened. Like I said, February is when we took the matchbox and we ultimately took that match with the box and we're like, all right, we're about to light it, right? March, whoosh, against the sandpaper or whatever it is, our match was lit. April is when we light that candle. All right. And the beautiful scent is going to come forward. And May and June, like it's gonna be more beautiful from here. Like I'm telling you that like we began the year of the horse this month, right? March. Originally, the Gregorian calendar has January and February, but originally, the Julian calendar, there was no such thing as January and February, right? It started with March. This was the original new year. We've started off this original new year on such a beautiful energy, my friends. It's only up from here. Okay. So let's go ahead. Let's pull affirmation. All right. And after this affirmation, that is going to be the reading. All right. I trust myself. I am wise. I am brave. My intuition is strong and clear. I trust the voice within. Absolutely beautiful. I'm doing so well on my life journey. I am proud of myself. Do you see what I mean? I trust myself. I am wise. I am brave. I trust the voice within. I am proud of myself. That's the energy that we're in for this week, in throughout all of April. So I love you all very much. I hope this resonates. Remember, I do personalized readings. So if you connect with the messages that I put forward, all right, I do half-hour readings, hour readings, all right. I am psychic medium, so during these readings, I will ultimately receive messages from the angels, from my guides, from my angels, and ultimately the messages that come forward, my friends, from anyone who's ever gotten a reading from me, ultimately they are incredibly powerful because when it comes down to it, that's the time we're in right now. We are in the time of power, and like I said, the universe is giving us exactly what we're meant to receive now because we are powerful and we're finally acknowledging it. All right. So if you are interested in receiving a reading from me, either half hour, hour, go ahead and reach out to me. All right. Through my Facebook group, the Tarot Nook with Jay on Facebook. Or you can go ahead and reach out to me through my Gmail account into it's intuitive restore at gmail.com. Okay. Intuitive restore at gmail.com. I love you all very much, and I hope everyone has a great week. And I'll see everyone next Sunday. Bye.